Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, and with like always is the man who is doing it for the children, Noah Bailey.
For the children.
Yes, today
Oh,
we're going to be starting out by discussing the first two episodes that were premiered on Disney Plus of WandaVision.
woo!
So, just general thoughts about the first two episodes go.
Well, even before you say the
Oh,
first thing, like they did the whole Marvel thing. I noticed they updated it with some Endgame stuff. That was kind of cool. They had like
oh,
the whole like jumping through the time portal
uh-huh.
thing, the Iron Man snap. Like that was kind of cool. But it just felt good to be like I know obviously it's not in theaters by any means, but like it felt good to kind of like, all right, the MCU's back on the station. Here we
Yeah,
go. We're rolling again.
until I saw that logo, I hadn't even considered WandaVision is technically starting Phase 4.
Right.
Because originally Black Widow obviously was going to, and then Eternals in between
Right.
there, but now WandaVision is technically starting Phase 4. So, like, that's. I think it started off great, but yeah, what do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, no, I agree. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, getting into the actual show, man, and like, well, I don't know if we want to go episode by episode or just all at once. I don't know, but
Shotgun it. Why I don't care. Spoilers if you haven't seen the show that's free on Disney Plus.
spoilers, go watch it now or else. But yeah, I really like how this starts off extremely like, okay, so for preference, my parents are kind of older than the average parent, so
Mm-hmm.
like, in my house. Leave It to Beaver, Dick Van Dyke Show, like all those. I Love
Andy
Lucy, like
Griffith.
yeah, we played those shows all the time in my
Oh
house.
yeah.
Even now, they got like Me TV and all
Mm-hmm.
those stuff downstairs. Like they love those
Oh
shows.
yeah.
So I'm watching this and I'm just like, this is every old thing I've ever
Mm-hmm.
seen in my life. With Darling, I'm home, and all the classic the laugh track and like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, it
The
was.
the
But it's
like
done really
intentionally
well.
awkward sequences that like just feel cringy, but like it's not bad writing. It's intentionally reminiscent of that era. Like
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like it's obviously on purpose. Like
Mm-hmm.
the like very like brought out like stage play set look thing.
Mm-hmm. The
Like
kooky neighbor who we'll get to in a second, but
yeah,
the kooky neighbor who's
yeah. The
pops up out of nowhere.
hi,
Like,
and I love the joke where Vision's like, so wait, what do we do here? And like,
we
well,
make
yeah, that's how we
computation
measure our
reports.
output.
Like
He's like,
we
but what are we outputting? It's like, well, all the data we have to input.
we buy or sell something? No, we just make computation reports. And ever since you showed up, our efficiency has gone through the roof. Like, okay.
He's like, all right, yeah, it's like our productivity is up 300% since you started here. He's just like, but what do we
Yeah.
do? Oh, I love that. That's always such a good trope for me. And then like the like very like corny but like always done like, oh well, what's today? Oh well, I know what today is. Do you not know what
Uh,
today? Like that whole thing. Like,
that's
oh, then
great.
they're gonna get this whole way.
One thing I kind of still touching on that, I love how it clearly is a parody of those kind, or at least like homage of those kinds of
Yeah.
shows, but it's not like it did it in a way where it just feels like you're watching those shows. It's not. It's like
Yes.
it's not. It's not even a thing where it's like a modern take. It's just a 50s, 60s black and white sitcom. Like it's done flawlessly.
Yeah. Like, and you don't even. It was weird because like I didn't really question it. It was just kind of like okay, like it was weird because I was like into the like very cheesy plot,
Yes.
and like okay, who's gonna break
Just
first?
all the
What's gonna happen?
hijinks of just like them going back and forth
Yeah,
between
how
the
are they gonna
kitchen
pull
and
this dinner party
yep.
off? Like, and I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. You kind of forgot you were watching like a superhero
Yeah.
show, and it was kind of just like, oh no, this is just these characters. Where you're like, they're just in the 50s now. We're just gonna run with it,
Yeah.
and it was done really well. And
And any
I like
powers
all
that Wanda showed, it was just like kind of like I know like the first two episodes are heavily inspired by stuff like Dick Van Dyke, but also like the show from the '60s called Bewitched. Where
Yeah,
it's like a witch
exactly.
in that
Yeah,
like it just felt
especially
very
with the like,
natural to that time. I don't know, it was great.
yeah, yeah, and that was really like. And I thought that was just really cool because they kind of have because like obviously with Wanda's powers it makes total sense that it's Bewitched, but there's also elements of shows like I'm trying to think of shows like shows where it's like they're like, oh, one of our family members like a robot or something,
Yeah.
or like the Addams family where it's like, oh, they're monsters, but like or like
Mm.
because Vision's obviously a robot, so they're trying to like
Mm,
conceal it, but like not. It's all like,
yeah.
yeah, it's stuff like that
Eh,
that I've always liked, and I love how like everything's just you're just into the plot, everything, and then out of nowhere,
goodness.
it just
Like
gets
the
so
fact that
serious.
just oh like that scene. This show has done so well. Like something my brother loves Lynchian style humor, like Twin Peaks and Dune and stuff like that. Like he loves that style of just aesthetics like that, where he he's kind of big into horror stuff, but he doesn't love like jump scares and like
Hmm.
kind of very standard, more modern humor like that. He loves the like slow, methodical, like something in the background, like little like sounds and like just tension building scenarios like at the dinner scene, like they started asking too many questions. Wanda freaked out and like because like the world was like starting to break. That guy
Hmm.
started choking and like just the seamless transition of the wife being like, stop it," and like to the husband, then like turning to Wanda like, stop it," like to her, like it felt so. It was just so good.
Yeah, yeah, just like the and like yeah, like you said, like the deadpan, just like stop it, stop, and
Stop
like
it,
it's slowly getting
stop
like
it.
louder but more
And the
sinister, and like
cinematography of that was also like, even though it was still black and white, the it was still it though that scene was just like shot differently. Like
hmm
I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it just felt different. And then once the
yeah,
guy got back up after Vision saved him, it just kind of seamlessly transitioned back into a normal
yeah,
sitcom. Like,
exactly.
and it's
Yeah, that
everything
was
just went right back. Like the wife, it almost is like she was trying to stay in character while being like, this isn't right. Like you need to do
yeah.
something about it. And then it just went back to normal. Like it was so well.
Yeah, and I love to, yeah, like you said, like they kind of just like they pan to an angle that they haven't really used yet because they kind of just use the big angle the whole time, and it's like
Yeah.
very, all of a sudden we're like very perspective looks at
Mm,
each person and like zoom in and zoom out, and then when Vision does take the meat out of the guy's throat, it's not like a 50s like weird like open mouth weird practical effect. It's a
yeah.
very slim like phasing effect that's very much like a
Yes.
modern look.
And that's juxtaposed with later, at the end of that episode when she makes the rings pop into place. It is the 50s like pop.
Right.
Like their hands aren't in the same place. It's like it is a very 50s.
Like stop motion,
Yeah.
like yeah.
So just the fact that they were able to very seamlessly transition between all the different like styles while making it feel believable in this in its world, like it just yeah, that first episode was a great just introduction to what the show was going to be, and I loved it. And also, I just something I adored about both episodes. Really, I think especially the first one. Almost every single line said in the show so far has some kind of double meaning.
Hmm.
Like if you're just watching and not if you don't know anything about the comics or even these characters, you're just watching a show just to watch a cheesy sitcom. It's you would just think like, oh, kooky neighbors, them just trying to cope with with having these powers in this world, but like every single thing said, especially by the neighbor, has a greater purpose for the greater story.
Hmm.
I'm sure we'll find out later,
Hmm.
but like specifically, I think from the very jump, Vision steps into the scene and hits hit in the head by that plate, and he says, "My wife and her flying saucers, my husband and his indestructible head." Like, oh, you know what you did.
It's like, oh, you like, don't do that.
Like it's like I'm sure we'll get to more like speculative stuff in a bit, but it's very possible that like him saying my wife and her flying saucers could easily be a hint to some kind of like alien, possessing her. So it's like some alien
Or like,
influence here. Like we're not really sure, but
yeah, or like the like spitting spears from Infinity War and like
yeah,
that kind of stuff, and obviously
exactly.
the head with getting his head ripped, basically ripped
Twice.
off
That exploded
by
twice.
Thanos, more or less. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
just like there's all this stuff you just don't think of. Like it's just it is like very subtle because you think you say you kind of just think you're just watching it like it's just a regular show, but like it's really yeah, there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of bigger picture stuff to it.
Yep. Like, and also just all of the little Easter eggs hidden throughout both shows, like or both episodes. Um, like in the first credit sequence, that's still like the black and white credit sequence. Every single name said in the fake credit sequence is a reference to something. Like
Yeah,
for example, Abe Brown is one of the characters that was on Peter's Mathletes team from Homecoming. The first name was Babs Digby, who was a let me see if I can find it here. He was a character who was on a TV series called The Life of Riley, who had a who had a catchphrase that was had a catchphrase called "What a revolt and development this is," which when the Fantastic Four started out in the '60s, that was Ben Grimm's catchphrase. So like just
ah,
that's insane.
right.
You don't have Ben Grimm's. You have Dags Big Brigsby, who was a reference to something that Ben Grimm said. Like, wow, that's
Yeah, I mean,
effort.
this
That
is
is
like, yeah,
effort.
this is gonna be like, in typical MCU fashion, like this, everything is done. They know what they're doing. There's a
Mm,
purpose behind all this. This is probably setting up something we don't even know about yet,
mm,
and like, because, and that's the thing with this whole alternating reality thing. This could set up everything. We have no idea. Like, this
yes.
could be how we do this.
Mm,
But man, it's gonna be so sick just
yeah.
to like,
And
yeah, I
like,
can't. I'm really,
oh,
yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead. No, go ahead.
You have anything else you want to say about the first episode? Or we
Not oh the I like yeah
commercial?
and like well, this will talk more to the second episode too, but like how like red is like very like a specific color,
Yes.
and I think that's more in the second episode than the first episode, but I think it was still a little bit in the
It
first
it was
episode.
there in the first episode. We'll go and talk about this now. I loved the little commercial breaks they had because like it's on Disney Plus and Disney doesn't have commercial breaks, but like because it was a
Right.
'50s and sitcom, they had those like cheesy commercials. On the Stark 2000 toaster, uh, the little like light was actually red. I didn't notice that at first until the second watch.
hmm
Like even that was like blinking red, even though everything else was black and white. And I loved how like as it was like you know as it was cooking the toast, it was like the beeping sound kind of got faster and faster, and like it kind of cut between the guy and the girl real quick, being like just kind of like waiting for it, and then it like beep 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 beep, like almost like a bomb was going off, which makes sense considering what happened to Wanda's parents with Stark. Just that's
Yeah.
so that's so good. And then also, that ties in perfectly to the commercial in the next episode, the Strucker watch with the Hydra
Oh
logo on it.
yeah. It's
Like,
just like, oh no.
like Wanda's clearly trying to process some past trauma through familiar, like through like these commercials somehow.
Yeah.
Like it's just done very well. Um, what do you before we really go into the next episode, what do you sticking with the commercials? What do you think are going to be some of the other things that those commercials kind of delve into if they continue that trend?
Definitely like you said, kind of like with the past trauma stuff. So maybe there could so like we went through like with the like Tony Stark parent things, and then we kind of Hydra. So maybe something with the Avengers, since that's kind of the next step. Maybe something like I was thinking something like that with her brother. So maybe like a race car or something to like remind her of Pietro
Mm,
or something. Like I'm still kind of thinking there's gonna be a significant amount of significance towards to Pietro because like kind of even
yes.
though he kind of got off kind of quickly and never really heard about him, I feel like if there was ever a time to go into it, it'd be
Mm,
now.
yes. I'm thinking running shoes of some kind or race car.
Yeah,
I'm
that
thinking running
too.
shoes. I'm thinking some kind of Wakanda branded something for the
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Wakanda
They did have
embassy
that.
from Civil War. Um, I'm not like it would make sense to do something Thanos related, maybe like some kind of glove that has like different colored
Like the
like
multi-purpose cooking mitt or something.
something like that.
Like
Yeah,
you're just like, oh no.
like something
Oh
not too in
man,
your
that's
face, but like if you know what you're looking for, you can see it. Like just
yeah.
man, like it. Yeah, that's
Very light, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Like, oh my god, they write themselves, man.
but yeah, I'm man, like I love just the creativity and actually so much effort that's put into these at least these first two episodes. Um, Now going into the next episode, like I think that the second episode was even better than the first one personally. I
Yeah, I
think I
do
liked it
too.
more.
Yeah, and I like how they kind of go like a couple years in the future. We kind of go from like I Love Lucy more to like Leave It to Beaver in terms of like we actually go outside the house and not to
Yeah.
just somewhere else inside. Like
Mm-hmm.
especially like at the beginning where Wanda's like in the yard and then her neighbor pop. It's not just my house, the office, back to my house. It's very much like
Yeah.
here's kind of our neighborhood.
Yeah. Like the first episode was very much so the two sets, like like the like you said, every single house in the '50s shows has the main living room and then the doors into the kitchen,
Right.
and with the three camera setup. Whereas here you had a lot more angles to work with, a lot more setting to work with, and yeah, just it was done very well. And also, I think this episode did a fantastic job at kind of introducing more of the overall plot of the story, but without
Mhm.
just throwing it in your face. Like the very the opening bit is them like in a funny way because they are so powerful being scared of just a tree branch knocking on the window. Like that was originally just like thought of like a gag, but later when she hears hears like something crashing outside, which first you heard like helicopter blades and then you heard that crash, and she goes outside and sees a red and white and sorry, a red and yellow helicopter. That's like a little toy helicopter in the bushes. Like
Right.
that's not supposed to be there. That's so
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it was done so well.
Yeah, and I love how like while she's looking at it, and then all of a sudden like her neighbor like very quickly, "Hi, what are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, don't worry about that." Like distracts her from it,
Here
and
that was
like
the start of the show. Like that was her kind of reminding Wanda like you're like this is what you want. Don't focus on that. You're the star of the show.
yeah,
Like focus on here
stay
now.
on target. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While still
Oh,
like while
in
still in
character.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
Agnes throughout this entire episode, like really, I think, if you were kind of paying attention, because during the talent show bit when Vision started flying, it kind of cut to her like reaching into her or like about to reach into her pocketbook, and then when Wanda, show how it was, she was like, "Oh, great!" Like she kind of like pulled back real quick, like she was about to do something. I don't know what. I don't know what you're gonna pull out of that purse.
But it was oh man, something crazy could have happened, and yeah, I thought that was so interesting. How like you kind of feel like she's kind of like more than the other characters. Like the other characters are in it, but they kind of feel like they're just there. But she feels like she's kind of pulling
Yeah.
help pulling the strings a little bit.
Her and
Just,
oh, I can't remember her name. The black woman.
oh gosh, yeah, I don't remember her name either.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
her character has been actually confirmed to be Monica, the grown-up girl
Right,
from Captain Marvel,
right.
and like when they're there at the PTA meeting or whatever it was, the first thing she said to Wanda is like, "Actually, I don't really know what I'm doing here." Like, and Wanda said, "I don't like, don't worry about it. I'm Wanda." And she's like, "I'm," and then once she touched Wanda's hand, there was this little like ding, like little like sound, and then she actually gave her fake name. It's like she was starting to become kind of self-aware. It's like, why am I here? This doesn't feel right. And then as soon as she touched Wanda, it's like, oh, I'm just another character in this
Yeah,
show
I'm
now.
just yeah, but she got kind of like sucked into the reality more, if
Mm-hmm.
you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, so crazy to like and like how they just kind of like and again it continues to like distract you with oh we've got a talent show oh we're having problems with vision like very like distracting you from like
Yeah.
something's not right here
Yeah.
and
And
like oh
the
man
the the what was the woman's name? I can never remember names.
the like head lady or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not good with names, but I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh,
about. Like
Sharon.
the
Oh, Sharon. Oh, they was Sharon, but that just feel she feels like a
her
Sharon.
mom's name.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, it fits. I mean,
Like
but anyway,
she like Wanda said something and Sharon was like, I've heard bad things about you. It's like I don't it's like I don't believe you, and then like it's almost like she was starting to also become kind of self-aware about what was
mm,
going on, and then the radio started like someone was talking through the radio at her,
yeah.
like
Like what the hell? Like oh,
who was doing this to you? Apparently, that voice is the same guy who the main like government person who was from Ant-Man the Wasp. So like,
mm,
yeah, Steve,
okay. It
more of him.
sounded familiar, but I couldn't
Yeah,
place it. I
the
was like, what?
the guy who plays Asian Jim in
Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah him. You
yeah. No,
know
I.
what I'm talking about.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But,
So like he like someone is doing something to Wanda, and it's again we'll get to more theories in a second, but like that's just the fact that they're not just telling you outright; they're like throwing little bits and pieces at you to tell you this isn't real. Like something bigger is happening. You can enjoy the show for what it is. As like as far as like a sitcom goes, it is fantastic.
yeah.
But there is a bigger story here also, and I love how they're
Yes.
systematically showing it. And then yeah, like Sharon's hand, like the glass in her hand explodes and like starts bleeding red
Blood.
blood.
Like very red blood,
Uh,
and it's just kind of like, oh,
mm,
well, and I love those scenes where like when things are in red, it's like everything stops, and
yes.
look at this, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
And my absolute favorite scene from the first two episodes was at the very end of the second episode when they go outside and see that beekeeper just very slowly come
yeah,
out of the grate. And I'm like, my initial thought was I didn't see the S.W.O.R.D logo on his back at first. My
mm,
initial thought was I think that character or that entity is like a manifestation of the character, the Swarm, who I'm sure I've talked about him before. He's a Spider-Man villain who is a bunch of Nazi bees.
mm.
Yeah, he's a
What?
he
Freaking comic books, man.
yeah he's
Yeah,
the character from Spider-Man who like he was a Nazi in the 40s who died, but then like some like colony of bees like revised him somehow, and like he's just like a big swarm of bees with the same personality he had. So like
oh
if
my god.
I don't with a little more information that I've learned more recently about like what was going on in the episode, I don't think that's the case, but I think it would be so easy for that character to essentially be one of the experiments that Strucker did on somebody,
Mm,
and like it went wrong. So it would make sense that a Nazi, a character in the comics who was a Nazi bee entity would tie into Wanda's backstory of something to do with bees. Like that just kind of
right.
like there. I feel like there's something more than just her seeing something that shouldn't be here. I think that like I want to think that the bees are important there. I don't know if that character will necessarily come back, but I think the bees part of that is important. And I think if assuming they have the rights to the Swarm character, I think that's a very easy. Uh, I think that's a very easy pull for that, and then her just saying no and just rewinding it all like that's
Yep.
so good. But
Yeah,
like,
because
yeah, because not only was that probably scary for Wanda, like this world is perfect, like I just learned how to fit in, like I don't want anyone messing it up, and this B guy is shouldn't be here, so just no. Also, that scene was so just like tense for the audience too, because like you hear it, and then you just slowly see the grate slide up, and then it's just this guy in a bee costume. Like it's just so well done. I love it.
yeah, and like how it just like it's like this like it's like this visual representation of kind of how she's been compartmentalizing like all this like potential trauma or whatever's
Mm-hmm.
going on. She's just kind of like, all right, we're not going to think about that. We're just going to
Yeah,
nope. We're going to nope
like
right out of
yeah,
there.
like especially if that was like a failed experiment that had died while she was under Strucker's care.
Mhm.
Like that just it's like she doesn't want to be reminded of that. Like she's clearly been compartmentalizing it in other ways through the commercial breaks and other stuff, but like she doesn't want to face it. She's just like, nope, just rewind
Like,
everything.
we're not going to think about this ever. Nope, we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just
And
turns it off.
I think I had this theory earlier. Uh, I think I said that essentially I believe that because Thanos, snapped the second snap, turned the Infinity Stones to atoms and dispersed them across the universe. I think Wanda is by the end of the show is going to be shown that she's able to like tap into those fine atoms of the Mind Stone and be able to like increase her power. I think throughout these two episodes, I think they've kind of been slowly telling us that not only is she able to tap into the Mind Stone powers, she's been able to tap into all of their powers because she's able to
Mm.
rewind time. She's able to
Mm-hmm.
just zap stuff into existence. Reality wise, she's able to like see mind obviously like just I don't remember specific exactly, but like I remember my most recent rewatch being like every single Infinity Stone is accounted for here, and I think they're gonna contextualize that by her being able to really tap into just the very essence of the universe and just giving her power, and I think that's something that's very possible.
Right? And like seeing how that slowly and like I think that's really interesting because like obviously like the red represents like it could be like her power, also the reality
That
gem
too,
or like
yeah,
I
yeah. The
don't know why
reality
I
stone
said
is red, yeah.
gemstone. Yeah. So like maybe that's kind of like a subtle like both, or maybe her powers are becoming that up. I don't know because
Mm-hmm.
I mean she already was like on an infinity, basically an infinity stone anyway.
Yeah,
So like maybe I don't know. That's something adding
yeah.
to it, but it's so cool to think about.
Mm. So yeah,
You
that
know?
like I know everyone who knows anything about comics has already like
Oh
theorized
yeah,
about who Agnes is and what exactly the
yeah,
biggest picture. Like, I'm pretty sure you agree with the Mephisto theory.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean, we know what's going down,
yeah,
but it's cool to see how it goes down.
yeah.
Like it's like
Like,
oh, it's Agatha Harkness. It's like well, yeah, but I mean,
like it's cool. But now that you know that, you can rewatch it and really focus on what she says. And like I said, every single line, every single thing that she does throughout this two episodes means something more. Like even so much as her just talking to that mailman
mm-hmm.
is kind of symbolic of like no outside messages, no like we're not gonna like something you bring could trigger something for her, so stay away like that. It was like played off as a joke, but like it means something more than just that. So
Right.
like man, and like I'm sure we'll find out later. Wanda probably made a deal with Mephisto to like have Vision back in this idyllic world of her own, just kind of escape reality for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what's
Yeah.
the downside? What's the monkey paw opposite of that?
Right.
Like, well,
Exactly. What's going on? Yeah. And it's so cool because like. Especially with like the second episode, how there's the helicopter, and all of a sudden there's this new character in it who doesn't know where she's from, and it's like, well, maybe like she's in some kind of like place they had to try to fly to. That would explain the crash and everything. And
Yeah.
now there's just a new person here,
Mm,
or you
like
know,
I imagine this is like a real town that is in like a bubble that Wanda's just kind of able to control to her will, and the
yeah,
helicopters was something from S.W.O.R.D that was trying to get in from the air. The the beekeeper guy was someone who was trying to infiltrate from down below, but well, like obviously he didn't look like a beekeeper before. He probably had like a hazmat suit on or something, or like
yeah.
dressed up in something like that, but then it manifested as a beekeeper. So yeah,
It's
just
so cool. Like
mm,
you imagine like there's this town in the middle of like nowhere, with just like this red like circle around it, and like they're trying
mm-hmm.
to contain it, get people out. Like,
Yeah, and
oh
like
man,
did
sounds
Monica already live in that town? Was she sent in
yeah.
by S.W.O.R.D to like do reconnaissance or
That's
something?
what
Like
I think. Because like if she was a kid with Captain Marvel happened, she probably was inspired by that, and now she's like an agent or
yeah,
something. So like that
yeah.
can be a whole thing. I
Like
don't know
Nick Fury absolutely has been in contact with her since. Like that's yeah.
exactly.
And yeah, like because we know that S.W.O.R.D is like essentially space shield in this dimension or in this universe, Mephisto is probably some kind of alien or some kind of interdimensional threat
Right.
who S.W.O.R.D would be capable of handling. So I
So
love
cool.
that.
Dude, there's so much happening. We are not
Mm,
ready.
man,
They're like, all right, so yeah, we're well yeah, we're going on the we're going on we have S.W.O.R.D now, so we're going on the whole like you thought Shield was crazy. Like
yeah, man,
oh
like I'm just so excited. Like I love these kinds of shows. People who just want all 9 episodes to be released at the same time, they don't like fun. What like
like
imagine if the entirety of Gravity Falls was released all at the same time. Like
mm,
the
it's not nearly
half
the
of
same.
the Gravity Falls is a fantastic show, at least for the most part.
Right.
Season 2 wasn't handled the best, but that wasn't really their fault. Whatever.
Yeah, bad, yeah.
But still, the place it ended up, I think, was satisfying enough. Anyway, the half of the fun of watching that show was theorizing, having like discussions online with people who have different theories, like talking
Mm-hmm.
to people, just like being able to just ruminate on the things learned per episode, like going frame by frame and every single episode being like, I think that means something. Ooh, like that looks like something from the intro. Like just those little tidbits that you miss if you just watched it all at once and being like, oh, that was cool. Like you wouldn't love it nearly as much. Like being able to actually theorize and go back and talk with other people about this stuff, that's fun. That is
Right?
so fun for me.
Like
Like,
having the time to build up theories and find out what's going on, and like yeah, and like letting it marinate, I think is kind
mm,
of the term I would use for it. Just kind of like because like again, like yeah, we can theorize. We probably some theories are probably more more closer to being confirmed than others, but it's like it's just how this is all going to come together is really interesting, and it's cool because like in a show there's like always something that in a movie there's kind of like all right, we're gonna all find out at the same time. In the show it's kind of like little by little by
mm,
little by little the pieces come together, and for
yes,
something like this that's kind of like you said, like Gravity Falls, kind of shrouded completely in mystery, it
mm,
really works well, and I think they're taking
yeah.
full advantage of
And
that
like
because they know.
even if your theories are correct, even if it is just Mephisto doing this, there's still other elements like how exactly is Agatha Harkness involved in this? Like what exactly is the end goal? Is the end goal like in the comics where they want her to have they want Wanda to have the twins and then Mephisto get power from that? Like are the twins gonna are they even gonna stick around? Are they just in this pocket dimension along with Vision? Is Vision gonna stick around after this point too? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. It's like how how it's how they're gonna do it is still important.
Mm-hmm.
Not just okay, this already happened. It's like, well, let's see what happens. Like, let's see how they do it. Let's see what goes where, and like, it could be amazing. We have no
Oh yeah.
idea.
Like the next episode is gonna be gonna take place in the like 70s style show. Like
Yeah,
it's just
exactly. I love that. They're like slowly building up, like and changing time, and like, all right, we started in the 50s, now we're in the 60s. You know, next episode's probably yeah, like you said, 70s, probably a little more color
yeah.
because like color TV kind of started
Mm,
going here, and like so it's probably gonna be like what's a 70s show?
that 70s show.
And, no, that's a 90s show. That's
I
supposed to
know.
look like a 70s show. How dare
The
you?
Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
The Brady is the Brady Bunch
I think.
70s? Yeah, I think it.
So.
Yeah, because it is in color. You're
Yeah.
right. Gosh, fun fact. I don't. I'm pretty sure. My dad denies it, but I'm pretty sure my sister is named after one of the characters on the Brady Bunch. My dad denies it, but I think it's true.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, no, Dad, because like, and again, like, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's not relevant. That's just something I always like to say. But yeah, I think they'll be interesting. Like, it'll be like, I'm betting like the fashion's gonna be very 70s now, which is like I feel like 50s and 60s fashion is kind of like not super like especially for like older people, but like I feel like 70s is gonna be like all of a sudden like all this color, big hoops
but even within those two episodes we saw that were both black and white, there was still a drastic costume change in between. Like Wanda's hair was very different. The costumes in general are very different. People just acted different between them. It was just it was great.
I think that's so cool. I love that idea. They're just kind of going to. I can't wait till they get to like 90s and it looks like Friends, and then like they're gonna go like
the like Modern Family style, like head like talking head style stuff.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if they'll do like The Office. They'll have like like the like cutaway scenes where it's like I don't know what Wanda's going on about.
Exactly.
This doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna really love watching these kind of side characters, like those neighborhood watch characters, or even like Agatha or Agnes or the other people at the PTA meeting, like them just kind of gradually moving up in like with Wanda, but not actually aging. At just and like not even no one's gonna mention that it's been however many years, but like it's just this is just the world we're in. Like we're the same people, just in these different timelines, in these different decades, and it's gonna be exciting.
No, I'm excited, dude. This is like the potential is really here. It's gonna be pretty awesome. But oh man, once they get there though, it's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, it's gonna be. And like you said, it's very cool to speculate to see what could happen. So I think it's just kind of getting, being along for the ride.
Yeah, like the one minor flaw I could see with this show is if you're not big into sitcoms like that, if you're not into mystery stories that this is clearly trying to be, if you're watching this expecting it to be a superhero show, at least yet, it's not for you. It's probably gonna get there. By like episode 6, I have a feeling there's gonna be like some grander plot outside of the sitcom.
Right.
Aesthetic, and the last couple episodes are gonna be like full on Marvel, but at least right now, I could see why some people would consider it boring if you don't like that aesthetic. I love that aesthetic.
Yes.
I think it does it perfectly, but if you don't love that aesthetic, if you're not interested in all the theories, I could see why you might find it boring and want more right now, but generally the consensus so far is that people seem to really like it. So
yeah, and it looks good, it's well written, and like I don't know, like I guess if you're not into the mystery aspect, but like the mystery stuff is good, man. Like I don't know, I think it's awesome. So but no, I'm all for it, but
absolutely
we'll have to see. And as far as like just the future holds, like I don't know. I'm excited to see how this show kind of affects the MCU as a whole. Like what's the fallout gonna be from all this? Because again, we know we're going into Phase 4, but like this is a crazy way to start it off.
Like my biggest question is at the end of the show, will Vision just be alive? Like will he actually like continue to be a character going forward after the show? Like part of me kind of wants either way. Like I don't like it's depending on how they do it, I think it's gonna be done. Gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just how it happens is probably going to determine like more of what I think about it
Oh yeah,
overall.
and absolutely, like Multiverse of Madness is also gonna be informed by this, and that's just like
Oh yeah, I
Mephisto.
mean, this,
Oh my goodness, Mephisto was totally like I don't know if it's been confirmed, but Mephisto was probably gonna be at least a villain in Multiverse of Madness. That's totally where this is leading. Like they're not gonna finish the Mephisto. Like we're gonna find out at the end of this show that
Mhm.
Mephisto was in charge of it all, and then
Mhm.
oh, oh yes,
Yep. Yeah, they'll probably have to. Yeah, they'll probably like push them off a little bit here, and then like the big battle is gonna be coming later.
yes,
So
yep,
that's solid writing.
yep. Okay, so yeah, moving on to other Marvel stuff for now. Um, so I hate when this happens. So consistently, like obviously, in this, it's been over a year and a half at this point since the last big Marvel movie. So like, there's just been rumors everywhere about like various different things that are going to be happening in the future of Marvel just because people are bored. There was this one rumor that again I hate when it happens where like because one place broke this rumor, all these other places are like, oh yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too. Again, it's totally happening. Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
Apparently, Chris Evans is coming back in the MCU. Apparently, according to somebody, they're saying Chris Evans is coming back in the MCU.
Well, they're in the '60s right now, so I mean,
Like,
there's a chance.
although Chris Evans on Twitter, quote tweeted that and he was like, news to me. So either he's playing coy or
Which he very easily could
very
be.
easily could be. Yeah, like I don't think he would come back as Captain America for a Captain America 4 or an Avengers movie, but
No,
if he showed up as like an alternate dimension Captain America in Multiverse of Madness or like
that's what I'm
Old Man
thinking.
Steve and something like that,
Probably
maybe.
like it'll probably be either like a flashback or like yeah something like that. Because like I don't think like actual Captain America is coming back in a capacity. It'll probably be a flashback or maybe like you said an alternate version.
Mm,
Because who knows what these like and especially with multiverse stuff like that could be anything.
yeah, so I'm not gonna read too much into it yet, unless at D23, Kevin Feige is like, "Yep, Captain America is coming back." Although I don't think they'd announce it this early, nor do I want them to announce it at all. That would be the type of thing I'd want to be in a theater watching, like, "Oh, cool, Chris Evans is back." Like, I want the
Yeah.
theater to react with me, like knowing that for the first time.
Everyone's like, wow. I'm just kind of like,
Cool,
huh. Neat.
neat.
Eats
But
popcorn.
if he does, like, he's only like what 39. Like he's still
Not that old,
he
yeah.
potentially
For
could have
actors, that's not bad.
a couple of years left in Captain America if he wanted to continue the character for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Just gotta get that routine back in though. I'm sure
Yeah.
that'll be like, oh, get gigantic again.
Yeah. Sticking with rumors, apparently, every week there's a new Spider-Man 3 rumor. There's already a heavy rumor that Daredevil was going to be in this movie in some form. Apparently, Carly Cox has all but confirmed to have already filmed his scenes. They've already been seen on set. So,
That's happening. That's awesome.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get Spider-Man off trial, man. We gotta do it. Who else except the one lawyer in the
I mean, it
in
could
the
be She-Hulk.
MCU?
It could be She-Hulk, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. You're right. My bad. My bad.
The one that
The
people actually
other
want to see.
only other
Not that,
lawyer in
not
New
to
York.
diss She-Hulk, but like people want to see Daredevil here.
Yeah, no, I mean Daredevil. Yeah, because I feel like Daredevil. Other than the show, I feel like Daredevil's been very like, misused. 2002, but like, I think that's when that movie came out. I don't remember.
I think it was '05.
Is it? Okay, I don't.
Maybe.
Let me see.
The more recent is like it came out the same year as some other big superhero movie. It was either '04 or '05, I think.
Okay. '03 actually. We were both kind of
okay.
wrong, but
Huh.
that happened.
Still,
So yeah, I mean early 2000s, we knew what was up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably. I mean that isn't that like. I think that's X2, and I'm trying to think what else came out in 2003.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Let's
We've
see.
got.
What other movies have come out
Uh,
that year?
none of these seem the same. Oh, Hulk.
Oh,
Didn't think about that. Hulk.
huh.
Oh my gosh, cheaper by the dozen. You remember those movies?
Um,
Oh,
a little bit.
I did. I like those. Bringing down the house. That movie hilarious. Um, yeah, Daredevil. That's pretty much
Pretty much it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty much it.
hang on. Oh, Bruce Almighty was that year. Okay, that's
Oh yeah. Oh, Freaky Friday. I remember that one. The one with Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
yeah. The Matrix Reloaded. Okay.
Oh, how's this?
Actually, this. I think both Matrix sequels came out the same year. Actually, funnily enough.
Really?
Yeah. They filmed at the same time, just released them same year. I don't know
Does
why.
that happen? What?
Yeah.
That's like never happens.
Yep.
Never heard of that. They came out the same. Yeah, that's risky.
Oh, and
Oh, Finding Nemo, dude.
Finding Nemo, Return of the King. So.
Ah,
Yeah.
true. What else we got? Rugrats Go Wild. I feel like there's Agent Cody Banks. I feel like there's a shark movie like every year.
Yes.
Because like I always see these like random like granted those aren't my movies, but like
I want to
like,
see the Meg at some point. The Meg looked fun.
oh my gosh.
Jason Statham
Oh,
punching
man,
a
I
shark.
just thought
Why not?
that punching. How do you punch a shark? Isn't that shark supposed to be like the size of like a submarine?
Yes.
How do you punch that?
Just, I don't know.
That's like me like trying to trip Godzilla. Like
Yes.
I don't see that going well for me. Like I think like but but anyway, yeah. But Daredevil. I mean, obviously the Netflix show has been great. Everyone likes that show. So yeah, I think it would be, and I think that's really cool that they would bring in the like, okay, so we have a Daredevil. Let's
Mhm.
just put him in a movie. You know, it's kind of like, and kind of making that transition of like things in shows can be part of the movies now.
Yes, and vice
Doing
versa.
that, I think that's a really good idea.
Like there's already big speculation of Jessica Jones showing up in She-Hulk. I've already given my 2 cents about how other show characters could show up in other movies and shows as well. Like it just seems so seamless to do that. So this is their first step in rebuilding the Defenders. Perfect. I'll have it.
Let's do it.
Yep. It would further raise questions as to why they weren't in the Endgame finale, but you know what?
Right? Like they might have been, but like for all you know, they were doing something else. They could have got snapped. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah. Last little bit of Marvel news. It's been, according to Chris Hemsworth, apparently Thor: Love and Thunder will be filming at some point this week. So
Yeah.
They're starting that. Hopefully, it'll meet its February release date of next year. Like if they're filming this week, it should. Yeah, they should be done by then.
That would. Yeah. That should be plenty of time theoretically. So that sounds good. But yeah, Thor is back.
Yeah. There's been another rumor that apparently Storm might show up, at least a cameo in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Really?
Yeah. I was expecting them to hold off until Black Panther 2 to.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Apparently, no. She might show up here as well. So, cool.
No, I'm not complaining.
No, not at all. If you have the rights to the characters, why not just do it?
Right? Just use them when you can.
Last little bit of Disney news. It's been confirmed that The Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus.
Oh.
Which they have every other Muppets thing on there except for the original Muppets show.
What?
So all 5 seasons of the original Muppets show from the 70s and 80s, that's coming back. So perfect.
So how do they have everything else but the original show? I feel like
know.
that's like, I don't know. Rights are weird, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but
And also, which this is a show that I remembered back in 2019. I remembered noticing this show wasn't on there. I just kind of assumed it has been since, but apparently not. American Dragon Jake Long is coming in February.
oh, wait, that's not on there?
Nope.
That's like one of those classic Disney shows.
I know.
Oh man,
Coming
Disney Channel.
mid-February. So.
All right, well, good for them finally getting all their stuff. I don't know who else would even have the rights to that.
ABC? No, that doesn't make sense.
But that's them. When you're holding the rights from yourself, like it's in your other hand, like
I don't know. Maybe it was maybe some other.
yeah,
Maybe like maybe someone had the streaming rights to it for some reason. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true. Maybe it was on like Hulu or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Wait, don't they have Hulu?
kind of. They have like they have a majority share in Hulu since they bought Fox, and Fox had like a 20%. Disney had like a 30, like a 25%. Now they technically own most of it. It was something like that. But
Yeah.
now, but like there's still contracts with other companies as well. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. No. I could never get into that show though, because I had Dante Bosco as the main character, and I
Yep.
couldn't like not like see him as Zuko, so it was just kind of like,
I
but
would give it another try and just try to ignore it.
okay,
Like it, the
okay,
first is only 2 seasons, and both seasons were animated by a different like production studio, and the
oh,
characters are kind of drastically different, but they
interesting.
both like have their appeal. And I think season 2 is stronger, but they're still both very solid.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right, I'll give it another go.
yeah.
Probably since it's on Disney Plus
In
coming next month.
February. Yep, it's great.
So there we go.
Yeah, moving away from Disney to Warner Brothers stuff. Godzilla versus King Kong has moved up to March.
Hey.
Still not seeing it in theaters, but you know what? Good for them.
Yeah, no. Oh man, I thought you were gonna say move back. I was like,
No.
but yeah, moved up. That's pretty sick. They're kind of doubling down, and like this is gonna be one of those things that yes, it would be way better to see it in theaters because giant monsters is gonna be hard to see on a small TV.
Yeah.
But
Like
what are you gonna
we've
do?
gotten a couple of clips and both monsters look fantastic. Like it's gonna be good. I mean, assuming they're probably gonna have some A plot really, because all these movies the A plot is the human stuff and the B plot is Godzilla.
For some reason,
I don't know.
like why can't it just
Godzilla was
be?
only in 14 minutes of the second one. 14
Yeah,
minutes.
I guess that's just budget. I don't know, but like,
Whatever.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be a long movie. All you have to do is like random disposable city.
Yeah.
Go.
Like
Like,
probably the first like they're gonna have one big fight towards the middle of the movie. It's gonna be inconclusive, and they're both gonna kind of go their separate ways, and they're gonna come back, but then be interrupted by Mecha Godzilla coming out of nowhere, and they team up to fight Mecha Godzilla because that's awesome.
oh man. Okay, so I know Godzilla has like some kind of like hyper beam looking thing
Yeah,
apparently, which
yeah.
I did not know was a thing.
Oh yeah, his
He
atomic
just
atomic
started doing
breath.
like
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z looking stuff,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's
King
awesome.
Kong does not, but he's still a huge monkey.
This is
So,
true. Yeah, no. So I'm not giving either. I'm just like either way. I don't know. I feel like Godzilla has the edge, but also I don't know enough to like make a solid call. So we'll see what
yeah,
happens.
well, we'll see. Maybe he'll throw out like huge Hadoukens or something. I don't know.
Right? Like like hit him with. if only. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So
Oh yeah,
giant monsters. Hopefully people get out of the way, but we all know they won't.
yes, exactly. So, last bit of movie news. It's been confirmed that the Snyder Cut will be a movie and not a miniseries as originally planned.
oh, so they've changed it now?
I don't know if it was ever. I don't know if changing is the right word. I
Oh,
think it might
I
just
thought
be.
that was a thing. Like,
Yes.
what was that? Just speculation?
Originally, it was announced as a 4-part miniseries that essentially, if put together, makes one long movie. But now they're just saying they're just going to release it on HBO Max as a movie.
Okay, is it still coming out in March?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I
So,
don't know what. I remember saying like that was kind of felt like a dumb idea. Granted, that's not the worst idea they've had, but
like making the Snyder Cut. In the
but,
movies.
but when you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
apparently, Zack Snyder has confirmed that he at least wants it to be released in IMAX as well, which I think. I mean, sure, whatever. But I thought that the whole point was it'd be HBO Max exclusive. But what do I know? His vision, I can't tell him what to do.
look, he does what he wants. We'll see how this goes. It will probably be a train wreck when it is. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But good for them because now I don't have to like sit on it and wait. I can just
Although
watch it once and be
it's
done
gonna
with
be
it.
4 hours. I was like so ready to watch it in like 2 episode chunks. I could do like an hour and a half at a time, you know?
Yeah.
But 4 hours.
Yeah, because like even good stuff for that long is like the Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
extended is
I
like,
was like,
bro, I can't.
my roommate and I had to split 2 towers between 2 nights. Like, I can't sit there and watch. I love watching movies, but I can't watch. Even Endgame's a little too long. I can't watch a
Yeah.
3 hour movie, let alone a 4 hour movie. Come on.
Yeah. Cause like like they are so long, and like it's like especially if it's like good. Like I like it, but I fall out. Like I
Yeah,
can't.
like BVS, like the original, like the 2.5 hour cut is already like feels too long because it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff to laugh at, ironically, but it's just there's also so much dead time that I'm just like this
They're not doing
feels like
anything.
such a long movie.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, even like Wonder Woman, like there was a lot of that movie where nothing was
Why
happening.
is that
And it
two
was
and a half hours? What?
that movie could have been an hour and a half. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yes.
Like,
It would have actually fit because most '80s movies were about hour and a half. So like,
yeah, like
just
it just.
you can squeeze it in
But
there.
they
no
didn't
problem.
even do. They. I think they dropped the '80s thing halfway through. I'm
They
not
dropped
gonna lie.
it 30 minutes in. That was disappointing.
Yeah, like it was weird. Like, because even the technology, like, granted they had like the older looking computers, but like it didn't really feel like '80s.
Yeah.
Really, it felt pretty up to date to me. But
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like it. Yeah, like if Wonder Woman 1984 and Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut, feel too long as 2.5 hour movies, I.
I'm gonna need a lot of time. I already know. Like I'm gonna when I like. I am gonna watch it. When I watch it, it's gonna be at least two watch.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be like an hour and a half, 2 hours break, and then maybe come back either later that day, maybe the next day, compare notes. I don't know, but I don't know if I can do one
I
sitting.
hope there is a very
4 rounds of
obvious
anything.
midpoint. Like I hope there's a very obvious like if you stop here, like this is essentially what Justice League 1 would have been, and then after this is essentially Justice League 2.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 movies. 4 hours is 2 movies.
Yeah, no, that's two. Yeah, and like two like decent movies too. Like
Yeah.
not short. So like, and also too like, I know they're adding apparently a bunch of stuff after, but I feel like they're gonna be adding a lot of like before stuff too because it's
Yes.
4 hours. Like they're adding another movie,
Mhm.
so there's gonna be a lot going on, and I feel like just I don't know. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I don't think there's gonna be like a set time. I'm just gonna be like, all right,
Or
it's
2
been
hours
about
in.
an hour 40. I'm gonna pause it there, get some popcorn, chill out, and maybe run it back later.
2 hours in, they haven't even like Steppenwolf hasn't even appeared yet. Like, what are we doing?
Nah. That if we're 2 hours in, we haven't got to the mini boss yet. I'm gonna have some problems. Like we're gonna have to like.
I have a problem.
We're gonna have to fast forward. So like that's not gonna work for me.
Yep.
Like. Because essentially, you got like, I mean, Superman. I guess for like 5 minutes was a boss. I guess he was like a bad guy. I don't know if they're even gonna keep that whole thing. I don't know.
They're absolutely his turning evil is gonna be like a whole act in itself. This is gonna be like a 5-act movie, and that's gonna be one of the acts, him being evil.
It's just like, all right, we get it.
We've done this before. There's gonna be a Suicide Squad game next year about that specifically. Just we don't need it again.
We get it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's like, oh wow, Superman going evil. I've never seen that before. No, I'm just kidding. But
it's
like,
true.
I don't know. Well, yeah, but I mean, I can't. I mean, it is a comic book movie, so you can't trope on them for using like recycled ideas. But I mean, you can, but I feel not. I can't. If it's an original story with recycled cliches, that's one thing. But like, if it's a comic book movie that's using a recycled comic book idea, you can't. I don't feel like as much you can't get. Like, it's one thing to like, oh, we see Batman's parents die every time. Like, that's one thing. Everybody knows that. But like, but anyway, that's just a nitpick. Yeah. But anyway, if it's too long, I'm gonna pause through. But I will watch it. I will watch it. Hopefully, I might talk my brother into it. I doubt it, because he has a firm stance on this as I do, but
Uh,
that
I,
showed it because he's like these aren't the movies you enjoy. Like these other movies, man, like they make all these like he always says like you make all these movies like all these anime movies like the ones in the theaters look like crap, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like even the new 52 ones, like they're still
yeah,
good. They're not like I mean I wouldn't say they're like 5 out of 5. All some of them are hits, some of them are misses, but
yeah.
like they get the characters better.
Mostly right, at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say like the Batman movies aren't my cup of tea.
yeah, they're
The
okay.
Superman focused ones are, I guess, hit or miss since there's only really two. Really, that's Superman
Yeah,
and then the Reign of Superman. Reign of Superman was not great, but
no, it's not. It had an interesting idea, but it was a very obscure kind of
yeah.
base. So
And but like regardless, like every single movie generally gets the characters right and looks beautiful. Like I love that art style. Um,
yeah,
like
it
essentially
looks
it's
like
like
real
a
people.
more HDer version of the Young Justice art style, and I love that. It
Yeah,
is, yeah,
yeah. Everyone looks good. Everything like yeah, it just looks really good, And then when everyone gets ripped in half, it was like, oh, I saw that in HD. But
yeah.
like,
I still haven't. I've seen a lot of clips of Apocalypse War. I can't watch it
oh,
all
you
the way
haven't
through.
seen
I
it?
can't.
Oh, bro, you
The
can't do it.
clips I've already seen of it is just
Like your childhood will die in the
yeah. I
first
know. Like I've
five
already seen
minutes. Like
every
it
Green
is
Lantern explode. Like I can't do it.
no, like it is like
It's
it's
too
crazy
much.
because like it's not like it's very early in the movie.
Yeah.
Like it's like I was watching it and then like Wonder Woman got her arm ripped off and I was like, oh my god! And I was just like I know
Okay.
it's rated R, but
Like
jeez,
I don't think that's necessary. Like I get you're
we
dealing with
get it.
Dark
They
Side, but
lost. You
like
didn't have to
you
like
don't have to do that.
like it was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. Like
Like oh, man.
yeah.
They didn't have to do that. But anyway, well that's a topic for another
Hopefully
day.
Wonder Woman's arm won't get ripped off in Justice League.
I severely doubt that they would do that.
Yeah.
One, because that would be very hard to like CG. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that hard, but like
Yeah. I
I
don't know.
think I don't know. But like that would one and also like nah, that wouldn't happen.
No.
It wouldn't be that serious.
I
Hopefully,
mean,
Darkseid's as intimidating because
I
it's
hope
like
Darkseid just. I hope Darkseid is only the flashback sequence, essentially taking the place of Steppenwolf in that flashback sequence.
okay,
I really hope he doesn't actually show up for like a whole hour of the movie. It just
but he is though.
he will, but I don't want him to.
Like they're not gonna add 2 hours and not
Uh,
make it like a lot of Darkseid just
I
because
know.
we like
Like you,
Darkseid.
it would make no sense to like for him to push so hard to have the Snyder Cut exist, let alone exist being a 4 hour movie and have Steppenwolf be the main villain. That doesn't. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't
Yeah,
make
because
sense.
I mean that's what everyone was all upset about. Like, oh, I don't like Steppenwolf. It's like, I mean, it's supposed to be about the Justice League. It doesn't have to be the best villain off the bat,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but then
Whatever.
again, who knows? What do I know? I'm just a guy who likes comic
Yeah.
books, but I have no say in a comic book movie. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but I mean, and like that was one of my gripes with the new 52 anyway. They kind of just start
Mm.
off, oh, let's go get Darkseid. It's like, don't we have to like walk first?
Yeah.
Like that's like
Can we deal with
that's like
like a couple of parademons first? Maybe some dominators. Like
yeah,
the
or even just like Earth stuff. Like give
yeah.
me some Legion of Doom or some like I don't
Even like
know.
Mongol showing up out of nowhere, I think would be like
Yeah,
a better
yeah, or
stepping
like
stone.
Lobo or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like. But yeah, we'll go for Darkseid right off the bat because there's nothing else we can
Yeah.
do. Brainiac or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I do really want a Superman movie with Brainiac because every
yes.
single Superman movie is either Zod or Lex Luthor. That's the only villains they know apparently.
And like that's the thing about Superman is like I know like Superman like people think his power set is boring, which makes sense, but it's like he has some interesting villains.
Yeah, Parasite, Lobo,
Yes.
Brainiac.
Yeah, like and even like yeah, a freaking and I know like What's Brainiac? Bizarro is like the trope of like, oh, he's you, but like not, which is like every Marvel movie pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But like still, like I don't know,
We
just
already
have
did that with
more.
Zod, but whatever. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna get that excited for Zod, you might as well do the same thing with Brainiac and or
Mm.
how do you say Brainiac?
Bizarre.
Bizarro.
Yeah.
It's the bees, man. I don't know why. But
Mm.
yeah, like I don't know. It just like there's more than just I don't know. I feel like people get very attached to very certain villains, and then like that's all. It's just like the Joker with Batman. It's just like we get it. The Joker's like the best villain, but
Yeah.
like Batman has a lot of great villains.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can share the wealth a little bit here. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. Whatever.
yeah.
4 hours. Sure, it's your vision. I can't argue with it. I just don't. I can just have my opinions, and in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be very good. But we'll see. We'll see.
We will find out,
Yeah,
won't
we'll
we?
find out. Whatever. So, do you have anything else you want to talk about anything we talked about today, or anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Not really, unfortunately. No, I'm excited. WandaVision comes back tomorrow. Got
Yes.
another episode, or it's Thursday, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's Thursday
comes
tonight. Yeah.
back tomorrow, and
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, hopefully, and I'm really excited to see how this leads into like Falcon and Winter Soldier and all this. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if those are directly coincide or what, but like I really like how the Disney Plus shows are just so far they have been
Very.
on point.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. So,
I'm
like,
loving
if
that.
if the quality of Vision, stays, the quality of WandaVision stays like it is, I will continue to have high hopes for Falcon Winter Soldier and Loki and everything else going forward. So, yeah, great. And again, it's great that Marvel stuff is back. Phase 4, we're in it now. It's good so far. Like, I have high hopes. Yeah. So, is that it?
That's all I got.
We'll see you all next time.
Take care, guys.